Buenos nachos, amigos, and welcome to Through the Tomes, a show where a group of understanding friends, patient friends, join an amateur DM as he guides them through his first campaign of Dungeons and Dragons. Usually, I'm Peter Riv, your amateur DM, and here with me is my half of my regular party and a guest. Because we're doing a fun little thing. We're doing a side quest adventure. Couple of our team is on assignment. One of those is on assignment in Minnesota. So we'll have things to report next time. But we decided that instead of since we had last week off, instead of kind of like not having anything for 2 weeks straight, I put together a crazy idea in the last minute of a little side quest adventure, and we'll get to that in a moment. We're gonna be doing we'll get to that now. We're gonna do an adventure from another adventure, another module from your boys at Dungeon Master Dave. They're the Daveverse. A couple of different people contributing.
Dave is here, man.
Dave Hamrick being the head of it, but a couple of different people contributing to art and the writing and things like that. That is available on the latest issue of Broadsword Monthly, called Awaken. There's an adventure called Awaken, and we're gonna kind of go through some of that together. But we're gonna have fun with it. With the characters, maybe based on a classic 60s sitcom that you all remember about being abandoned on a unknown island somewhere.
Come on, get happy.
Exactly.
Do we have a coconut somewhere?
Yes.
Got two halves of coconut and you're banging them together.
So we have those things.
I'm migratory.
Gonna make a brazier.
Yes,
Land of the Lost, everybody.
Exactly.
Slee stacks everywhere.
We're gonna be doing an adventure called Awaken. We're gonna be doing it as fun characters, and you can decipher who the characters are. But let me introduce you to the party. Let's go with first of all, playing Captain Cronus Crumley. We've got Brett.
No phone, no lights, no motor car, not a single luxury. Like Robinson Crusoe, it's as primitive as can be.
We've got playing Drillidun. We've got Drew.
I don't think I'm gonna be arrested for marijuana, nor am I as skinny as Bob Denver, but
At least you're not
gonna try.
and all the rest.
And then playing Professor Troy Dimley. We've got our good friend Patrick Swagger. Welcome to the shenanigans.
Welcome to 2 boxes.
Yes, there's so many boxes.
It's been a minute. What record did you bring?
Glassjaw. Everything you ever wanted to know about Silence.
Yeah,
I'm going to see Glassjaw twice in 2021 and 2022 because they're playing the first 2 albums on tour. So I had to go to both nights in Austin. Yeah. Reliving my high school years again and again.
Yes. So we have we have Patrick here to play the professor. I will be DM PCing the wonderful world famous feminine actress Rosemary, and the lovely down to earth girl next door Susie Lee Winters. So those will be that'll be the party. When we this is not going to be. This is we try to kind of play it off as a one shot, but honestly, this might be from like there's several adventures here and just on this mystery island, and I think there's a bunch of adventures that could easily just be adapted in here. This is probably going to be something that becomes the hey, we're not full, but we don't want to miss D&D, so let's let's do the side quest. So who knows? We might have people coming in to play the other characters. We might have.
We'll have to find a werewolf named Thurston Howell the Third.
Exactly.
He's then his wife that he calls Lovey.
Or I should say Horton Powell the Fifth. Or with his wife Sweetums.
there we go.
Powell.
Yeah, that's great.
That works good.
That's great.
Yes. But,
that meets my standards.
Maybe they might show up in the future episode when I'm not already inundated with PCs. But that's gonna be the fun for this adventure. Let's get started. I'm gonna pop open this terminal. So we join in this. Join fairly simply. I'm gonna say a quick thing for Captain Cronus and Drillidun. You two know each other, and I'll trust the third person to not metagame, but you two know each other, and you two have been working together in various piratical efforts.
All right, little buddy.
Efforts, in the way that you guys know how. But aside from that, what we're going to set up is that none of you know each other aside from you two. None of the other characters.
I get bottom hammock.
Exactly. All right.
Look at me. I'm the captain now.
Let me start making music happen. Okay, I'm trying to make it play now. Alright, whether it plays the sound or not, we'll go for it. Alright, let's start with waking up. You're awake. You're awake. Above, seagulls pass overhead, sailing through a blue sky unmarred by clouds. The sun's shining, its rays grant you a sense of warmth and comfort, almost as if it were saying that you belong here. And then there's the sand. All around your head, hands, and feet, you feel soft, white sand. Looking around, you see that you're on a beach. The gentle song of the ocean sloshing against the shoreline fills your ears. Opposite the crashing waves, a dense jungle stands. Its canopy is so thick it bathes its floor in certain darkness. Insects, frogs, and unseen animals cry out from within. That's when it hits you. You don't remember how you got here. Nor do you know where here even is. So I'm gonna give you guys the whole overarching world hex map, but you're only gonna know of the one corner where you have your party token as represented by the captain's image. So yeah, you are on a beach, kind of unaware of what's going on, unaware of where you are. There's and a little bit. I don't know where with the sun kind of beating down on you, and you see around you are 4 other people. You see among your group. You see a very burly orc in seafaring attire, with however kind of like
seafaring chainmail on.
Yeah. How would you Brett? How would you describe how Captain Cronus is kind of like dressed and looks like? Because you're not married to the token, you know. That's just
no, I let's say he looks roughly the shape of Fred Flintstone or Homer Simpson,
but
like a rotund man, and he wears a fairly bland getup of blue trousers and yeah.
With chainmail underneath.
Yes. Sensible chainmail.
Yes, exactly.
But yes, he is of sturdy build, but you know, the
yes.
he doesn't miss a meal.
Yeah, exactly. And then near him you see a young well, it's hard to peg an age for a goblin, but a goblin with kind of like an odd, goofy look on his face and of confusion. Drew, how would you describe how you imagine Drillidun?
Willem Dafoe.
Dilly Drillidun.
Well, being a roguish goblin type, imagine him with a hat, sort of might be flopping obscure parts of his face, and a leather tunic, but dyed, sort of a darker color, maybe like a red, with leather pants, I would imagine, to match the tunic, as it were.
Yes. And then nearby you see a very handsome human with some rather artificer accoutrements on him, with with an odd construct sitting next to him. Pat, how would you describe how you imagine the professor? Professor Troy Dimly looking.
Inexplicably clean for the situation. Sort of, very sort of not formally dressed, but like whatever the equivalent of business casual is in this universe, like proper, clean, well presented, looks very business focused on, being, I think he has like a tool belt, but not like a full on like Batman with secrets, but it's just like a practical way of, gathering his hand tools, because that is, he makes his living with his brain and his hands, and that is what he's good at.
And your companion that you've constructed
So I have constructed a chimpanzee, but it's made out of wood for some reason. We don't know why. It's not explained, but it's full on opposable thumbs and fingers. Yeah. Sort of like a child's drawing of a chimpanzee, like not like that level of detail, but like a little sort of wooden robot chimp who sometimes does things for me,
Yes, exactly.
Beady.
And then of course
and his name's Scout. My chimp's name is Scout, and you will address him as such.
Yes, nice.
He cares very deeply.
Yes. Yeah, and also you see a pair of young women with you. One of them is a half elf woman with reddish hair, like red hair, very very classically beautiful features, a little bit of a distant, empty look in her eyes, a little bit of a but a very like classic movie star looks, or equivalent thereof. like looking around in odd confusion. Very, late, kind of like slender physique, as is usual for like a lot of the elves and half elves. And with a couple of like instruments nearby, like a lute at her side, a flute, and a couple of other pieces of supplies. And you also see a handsome little halfling woman. She is very halfling girl next door, with kind of like looks like our farm hand attire, but with like you see the hard clerical armor. You see like a holy symbol around her neck, but very down to earth appearance in dress. With a shield at her side and chainmail underneath. They're all kind of like they're setting up. You all wake up, except for the two that I mentioned knew each other. None of you recognize anybody else. And you're not sure the circumstances. Last thing you remember, you were doing you were going about your daily life. You do not remember the circumstances that brought you here, or what. You do not remember washing ashore. You do not see a shipwreck nearby, as far as you can tell. So you're not sure what's happening. What do you guys do?
I think Professor Troy is he's very confused. He's a man of science, a learned man. He clearly recognizes sort of the like he understand, like he can look around at the trees, the beach, and sort of understand maybe where in the world he is geographically, but like not exactly. He just kind of knows the trees look like a region he's familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
The beach makes some sense.
Yeah.
But he's also like genuinely confused about how he got here.
Yeah, if you want to like make either nature or maybe a nature roll or an overall intelligence roll. I think
I'm gonna go nature because I got all that.
So nature, yeah.
So
just an ask in case it was you weren't perfect.
That's a 7 plus 7, so 14.
Okay, good roll. It's not hard to ascertain. You have an understanding, especially of geography, especially of like your world.
I'm thinking like I know like what quadrant of the globe I'm in roughly.
This is what
but I'm still hundreds of miles from knowing exactly where I am. I just sort of
what you can figure out with that is you can figure out roughly this is a subtropical. You can figure out that this is like subtropical area. You can figure out where you think you should be able to triangulate where you are. There is an issue. You do not recognize where you are geography. Like it seems like this is impossible for the world that you're in. In a couple of different ways. You kind of you don't see the stars right now, so you might be able to like try for that at night, but it is a subtropical area. This definitely does not look like any island you've been on, and it doesn't seem like you're able to really figure out. You can figure out where you should be on the globe, or at least the ring areas where you should be, which is somewhat subtropical, not all the way tropical, somewhat like in that area. You can tell by kind of like the trees and like the types of plant matter, the types of animals you hear, that it should make sense for subtropical. So this is odd for, and it's hard to really get a big
I have no
picture.
memory of this place.
It's but you're fairly certain you don't know where you are. So
And
it's not a failed roll.
Okay.
It's just successfully knowing that you don't know a lot about this area.
And in terms of the other characters around me, are we basically all on the same hunk of beach?
Yeah, you're all in
Okay.
like this like little beach area.
And I've never seen any of these people before in my life.
No, as far as you can remember, except for maybe Rosemary is a fairly well-known bard you may have seen every once in a while. In
Passing
taverns
knowledge,
and
but not personal knowledge.
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. And we all have that sort of passing perception of that, then?
As far as depending on how, I would say all of you, because hell, maybe even the professor might know less depending on how much he gets out.
I'm thinking the professor is like, I've seen you somewhere before, and that's it. Like, familiar face, know I've seen her somewhere, but don't, like, I'm so in my own nonsense that, like, I'm not engaging in popular culture very much.
Hello? Can you see the help of, hello? Who might you all be? Do you guys know what's going on? Where?
I have no clue what got us here. Cronus, can you help me out? You said me and Captain know each other, right?
Nope. No, I can't help you out. Nope. I think we're on the beach.
We are on a beach in what appears to be a subtropical region, but not one that I have ever seen or heard of before. I've never read about it, and I have 5 PhDs, so, you know.
Yeah. Wow,
Well,
that's a lot of letters.
Do I know any? Do I know where the hell we're at?
So you can you can. I would say. It's hard.
Yep, this is a beach.
You can give me. You can give me a survival check if you'd like.
Don't mind if I do. 19. No, 19.
You get out on the beach. You kind of like survey. And I would say I'll give you the time because there's not really much happening.
What time is it? Do I know what time it is because I'm good at surviving?
Mid-morning.
Okay.
And the professor, you have a keen mind, so you know that it's like shortly before midday, like 11:30ish. You don't know how you kind of like are able to like clock it based off of like sunrise and like things like that. I'll try
Sun's
to figure
very
out
high in the sky, and
you have keen mind, but you know it's like close to close to midday. But you kind of like walk around a little bit, observe the layout. You see like I would say based off where you are, you would also be able to like look south and see that mountain range, or at least what the facade of that mountain range, and a little bit of the other mountains on there, just off in the distance. Literally like you'd be able to see in like Colorado or something, like way in the distance. You see that mountain range. You kind of get the you don't know what some tropical is, but you know roughly around what seas this area is, like middle of the not where it's not too hot, it's pretty hot but not too hot in those waters and those seas, and and it stays pretty hot, and it does get rainy. But you've never seen this place before, and you have no other islands off in the distance to be able to use this as a landmark.
Okay, so I'm going to turn to Drillidun, Gilligan, Drillidun.
Oh my god, I just got that. Okay. Sorry.
Yes.
You really are that guy tonight, aren't you?
So I'm gonna go to Drillidun.
My intelligence really did go to 8, apparently.
Yes.
This is my Phoenix Down moment.
I'm going to say, never been here before. Out loud with my words.
I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know any of these people, but if any of us are going to survive this night, we should probably get in a fire together.
It's miserable in mid-morning. I can tell you that much. I have it on good authority that it is not yet noon, and it's going to be hot.
Yeah,
we're on the beach.
Well, yeah. And then you see the halfling. Well, might as well get some supplies together. If we're gonna get to survive in the day, I mean, we're gonna have figuring out where we're at. It's gonna have to be an ongoing goal, but we're gonna have to get ourselves some shelter set up or something.
Not a bad plan.
Or we can.
What's your name again, Mr. Halfling?
The little halfling girl was like, the name's Susie Lee Winters. What's yours name? What's everybody's names here so we can get to know each other?
Mortal. No, I'm Captain Cronus. Of the SS Linoleum.
Yeah. Drillidun. And you, sir. What is your name?
Professor Troy Dimley, PhD from UCLA, USC, PCP, NWA, and the University of Miami of Ohio.
Yes. Ma'am, what is your name? Like, well, well, of course, I'm Rosemary Plant. I imagine you guys have known me from many of my performances throughout the various taverns and various locales and pretty well known bar around these parts. And Susie looks at her like, nah, never heard of you. Well,
I don't know her.
you either way, you are lovely. And well, let's get started with getting the supplies. We'll have to figure out things a bit later. So let's get okay.
No.
Living on the island. All right.
And I'm thinking Troy is like trying to figure out where can I get water, where can we get food, and what is available for shelter. Like, I think that is when he realizes we are in a situation where no one knows where they are, no one knows how they got here. He's thinking about like survival essentials, I guess.
Yeah. So one of the things you're able to kind of like, I would say, it's pretty easy for you to figure out. You have seemingly, and it's hard to see the expanse of this island because it's a pretty sizable island from where you're at, but you do have the ability to kind of start to gather resources and craft a lot of things. There are, of course, a lot of limitations. You only really have, like, wood and, like, fruit and, like, rocks and things like that. You're not going to be able to make anything that's, like, arcane focus or write a book or have climbers kits or things like that, or you're not gonna be able to make anything with like work steel or iron or things like that. But you can do a lot of crafting. You can make hunting traps. You can make a shelter. You're at a shoreline. You figure you're gonna get out there and do some shore fishing. You can also You can also craft hunting traps. Out and you can search the jungle for game, but you can set up hunting traps to allow you to like forage for food, things like that.
Captain has a suggestion.
Yeah.
We should find some fresh water. Because that's the thing that'll probably kill us first.
Yes.
I may not be a book learned man, but I do know that we aren't drinking that stuff out there.
You are clearly a sharp one, Captain.
I don't know. Do orcs have like the ability to drink salt water like a cat? Like I would assume salt water is not good for an orc.
I mean,
never seen a man so round be called sharp. So.
Yes. It'd take a lot more to kill you, but you do need fresh water.
My blood pressure would not be happy.
And you can do it as a part of like your hunting and gathering, activity to get started.
I want to look for some water or a tributary of some kind, because if there's going to be water and it's going to be fresh, it's going to have to be coming from something. And I saw a mountain somewhere.
I would say I'm hip to that idea. If Cronus, if you and I can go into the woods, we can start gathering some wood up for a fire to get some cooking done and try to find some water as we go. Would probably not be a bad idea.
And I could stay here near the beach and try to build us a little bit of a shelter.
Yes, let's leave the nerd here, and we will go off.
The professor, if you don't mind, I would gladly help you with working on that shelter. I'm a little bit scared going out into that jungle.
More hands make less work, so yes, please help.
Rule number 1 of D&D: split the party.
That always goes well.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So okay.
It makes the DM do more work.
That's right. Like, hey, Scoob.
Gathering resources. Enough resources. Okay.
Zoinks.
I'm gonna head off with the dog to go do this dumb thing. Mama Cass and
yeah. So
Don Knotts are gonna go over this way.
Susie Lee is like, well, I'm gonna well, I know how to gather up some crops, and these foodstuffs ain't set up for us already, but it should be easy enough to just gather what we got out here. So I'll try to find us some food out there. I'm gonna start to change your accent mid-game.
Yes, there you go. Yes. I'm buying it. I think that this person that is speaking with the level of professionalism that they know exactly what they're going to get.
So someone.
They don't need my leather-clad little buddy and me to help them find food.
All right, so that's easy enough. We'll start with building shelter. That involves a little bit of like gathering resources. You'll spend. That takes you a little bit. I would say, with the. I'm not gonna say great help of the Wayfish Rosemary. But she does also for a helping hand. I would say it takes you less than 4 hours to gather enough resources to kind of like put together a good shelter. And
I'm imagining sort of a comically A-frame tent, just covered in leafy green things. Like obviously, like not the most practical shelter, but like it looks very nice for something we built in a few hours on a beach. I don't know if it's strong or good, but it looks very neat.
Yeah, it's very neat. Very. I would say it's with the professor's knowledge, it's pretty neat and fairly sturdy. But it definitely the thing is that it's good structure or good like practical shape and neat and tidy. But definitely it covers more than anything. But it's very insulating and very creature comfort over anything else. But it's well done. The professor has the know-how to be able to get a shelter going pretty well. But it takes him. He's very like particular about it. Yeah, you guys do that. I think that's efficiency. Okay, yeah. So. Okay. Yeah. It's approximately an additional hour. So it takes like a little less than 4 hours, and I'd say with the way he likes to do it, usually it would take like just an additional hour. It takes a couple hours for the way the professor wants to do it. But yeah, that's his day. Suzuki is off doing some hunting and gathering. I'll just roll her things in a moment that she's done. Okay. Okay. All right. So, can she create food? That's another thing. So is that we have the gathering. So you guys were gathering further supplies for that. So I would say
the gathering.
You were what was it that you guys were gathering? You guys were gathering for like wood and things like that, and also looking for water.
Correct.
So you guys also spent so that's part of what you guys do. I would say give me a was it survival? That was survival check with advantage.
How do I do that from here?
Yep, that's what. Same thing I was gonna ask myself. How do I?
Let me do it from here.
In D&D Beyond, you should be able to right click the number, and it should ask you. I think it asks you want to do it from with
it does. There we go.
Oh shit! I was rolling in fucking.
I rolled a 2 and a 4, so I don't think.
Yeah, I was, and it was. I wasn't having Drillidun roll. I was just having Captain Cronus roll with advantage.
We ain't found shit.
Wait, in one of them pulled up 24? Am I crazy?
220. Let me go to D&D Beyond because I know that the group feed will say. Just to make sure.
I sure wish I would have rolled this die roll.
Yeah, it's 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I mean, so I would say it was tricky to try to find a good reservoir of fresh water within a reasonable distance before you had to like head back with your resources. And you kind of end up doubling back a couple of times and going around a little bit in circles. Luckily, the gathering of the resources is pretty easily, and I would say you contributed to the resource gathering for the shelter with what the professor gathered around the shore and things like that. But yeah, you weren't able to find a source of water. At least not yet. You figure if you venture a little bit closer to the mountain range, you might be able to find something. But in the time that you want to get things gathered and get shelter set up before it gets too dark, you are unfortunately unable to just yet. But we open this island, and then she's gathering. Okay, four different ability checks. These checks are nature and an attack roll. Okay, so Susie and business. Okay, so Susie Lee is gonna do she's gonna do her own rolls. So she's gonna do the hunting and gathering, which is gonna involve four successive ability checks, which is gonna be a nature check, a perception check, a survival check, and an attack roll. Alright, so let's go to this. Luckily, she is on top of being a cleric, she's also a level 2 druid. So she's a cleric druid.
I didn't know she was Druish.
Yeah. She rolls a 15 for nature, so one success. It's a DC 12 that she has to beat for each check, but it's not pass or fail out of all. Like it's how many successes determines a couple of things, determines what she ends up getting. So perception, which is not proficient in, but she has a wisdom modifier of 3. So she struggles with a perception check, but survival up next, which she is proficient in. Damn. With her +6, she still only gets a 10, so only one success so far. And now her attack roll. With a crossbow. I'm gonna say it's a crossbow. DC 12.
Wow.
So for 0 to 1 success, it fails to find food. Damn. RNGesus is not working out right now. All right, let's.
The die don't lie.
She's like, and like a couple. I would say the professor and Rosemary are on the island. You're still working on things. You're kind of around the shore, working on like gathering some resources and getting things started. Waiting for the further supply. You do see like 3 hours into like the thing, Susie Lee come back scratching her head like, I can't kind of figure out what's what out there. Man, this ain't like it is back home. Those fellas were looking for water, weren't they? Probably gonna be a little bit embarrassed when they come back to this. She starts to eat. Anybody got a shovel? Does she have a shovel?
Mortal, you got a shovel?
Oh, she has an iron pot. She pulls out a big old iron pot and a gallon of liquid. So she pulls out from her like the big like bags of supplies. She pulls out like an iron pot, sets it down, and she proceeds to cast create water into it.
It wasn't that very handy.
Like, oh, I done plumb forgot I could do this. So she goes. She can only create 1 gallon of water at the moment. Well, let me see. If I can create like.
I mean, I can create or destroy water too. I just found out. So, you know.
We all done plumb forgot.
I'm a rogue. I stab things and I look pretty. Like I don't know what.
I'm a paladin. I was like, I'm gonna lay my hands on stuff, and I'm gonna have like, you know, maybe some. I didn't even think. Oh yeah, I'm also gonna be like a wiener cleric.
Yeah,
not a great one. Like a wiener cleric.
She kind of like. Well, she kind of does the thing. She creates water. It starts to rain, like in that 30-foot cube. But she is able to like take her iron pot and run around in it, and she kind of fills it with a gallon full of water, just like that's set up. Well, we got this at least. We'll probably still want to get. Something a little bit more. Reliable and that doesn't require using up my magics.
Probably a good idea.
I assume. So the professor, I have a tinderbox. I, sort of gather the wood we have and make a fire because, those are convenient. I have the tools, so I may as well.
Yeah, you kind of like you are able to figure out. And the main thing that just based on this climate, that the weather can range from being fairly warm during the day but fairly cool at night. So a fire, especially in this like damp environment, can be a lifesaver. So you set that up and have it ready.
I'm figuring I'm like getting like what you would call like a big campfire, not crazy, but just sort of like a big campfire. So if like it rained or something, it might keep going.
Yeah.
But like also if somebody gets something, we could cook on it.
Yes. Something else up an iron pot. Yeah. So, you guys end up coming back in the captain and Drillidun, the skipper and Drillidun, come back, or Drillidun and the skipper, come back, and you do see the professor ready to get started on the shelter with the resources he got, and you see Susie Lee standing next to a pot full of fresh water. It was like a 1 gallon iron pot full of fresh water. Like, I forgot I could magic up some water, so I did.
Well, I could have magicked it up, but that pot's handy.
Yeah. You know, you do spot the square that you recognize from the times you've made the created water. Yeah. Living on the island. So, yeah. That takes you a good part of the day. One of the things you notice is that there's some fairly regular, and the professor accounts for this with some like covering over the campfire, but there's some fairly regular. You know the environment is rife for fairly regular like storms and rainstorms and rain conditions. And the exact information. Okay.
When y'all got a sextant?
Okay. So what is I got? For is the weather. Okay. So it's been I'm gonna say it's time to roll for weather. I'm gonna roll a d6 for some weather.
Oh, that's options.
So you know that generally there's opportunities for rain, but luckily for this evening, as you kind of go into the evening, it's been a very clear day today, and it continues. You don't see any rain clouds or rain clouds on the horizon.
You've been notified. Let it be known.
Yes. Turn on Do Not Disturb. Well, most of it is like from the score. Sports app. Must be some crap happening. Yeah, it looks like you had clear weather. The good thing about the day, you know, as much as there's been a struggle getting some food and some water, you did have fairly clear skies, and you there's a little bit of a hungry evening, but you have clean water to drink for the night. And
I mean, I've got rations.
Shelter. Yeah. So you have a little bit of like you have your usual rations. Those are not infinite.
No, I have 1 day's worth.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I don't. I have 10 days worth.
Yes. So you have your shelter.
Give me shelter.
Yes. You kind of like set up and hang around the shelter, and you starts to the day kind of like goes into dusk into to evening. You kind of like you set up the fire and you light it, and you all sit around the campfire, and it's like, well, Rosemary's like, well, there's definitely quite a bit of a predicament we find ourselves in. I'm glad we're pulling together, even as strangers, to help each other out. So let me sing you a comforting song.
'Cause I'm blue, da boo dee da boo da boo.
And Rosemary pulls out her lute. She performs. She holds a 27 performance check, and she performs a fantastic, comforting, like tune, like almost like a lullaby, like a little ballady, and it is oddly comforting as you're sitting around this campfire, kind of listening to her kind of pluck at her lute, and it's as much as their circumstances are odd, confusing, and a little bit a little bit less than ideal, to say the least. You find a little bit of comfort in kind of like sitting around the campfire, knowing that you at least have a place to stay for the night.
I find comfort in that.
Well, I had a bit of a trouble. Susie kind of pipes up like as Rosemary continued kind of like not singing, just maybe humming, but playing like on the lute. Susie is like, well, I had a bit of a trouble trying to find food out there. Usually don't struggle this bad. I think I'm just a little bit stressed out on account of our circumstances. How do you guys work? How did it work out for you guys? Did you guys find a reservoir or anything out there?
We ain't found shit.
Well, I think I'll try to good captain. I'll see if I can try to help you out tomorrow. See if we can find something reliable. At least for the moment we at least have a little bit of a food on us. Well, I mean, we might as well just kind of try to get to know each other. Captain.
Come here often.
Well, Captain. Well, what do you do for a living? What has your life been before we got here?
I would say I captained the SS Linoleum a tour ship in interlocation here.
Yeah. I mean,
specializing in day cruises.
I think I heard that. I mean, that's from up in the big city, out of the dock there. Yeah, I was thinking about one day taking one of them cruises, just as a time away, but I never really did do that. Or did I? Did I? No, I don't think I ever did that. Well, yeah. I've just been working the lands and working the farms for my family. They're just like my parents and just like my grandparents, just like my great grandparents. We just kind of like took care of our respective farms and ranches and made a living off of that. And the greater forces that govern the land, I've kind of just been a champion for them and a student of them, in a sense. But, I don't know, it's just I'm just a girl who can till the land quite a bit, and maybe swing a sword every once in a while. Yeah.
Now there's a girl who will plow your field. And possibly swing a sword.
Well, I can't say that I've ever met an orc before. I mean, I know that there's quite a few of them out there in the city. But it's wonderful to meet you. I also have never met a goblin before. Drillidun, is that right? How's your life outside of this island? I think Drillidun.
Hello, my name is Bingo. I like to climb on things.
And Professor, you had a lot of awful, you had an awful lot of letters after your name.
Well, I spent many years in academia, but now I am plying my trade, trying to teach the next generation some of what I have learned.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wonderful. Your monkey there.
Oh, Scout? That's Scout. He likes it when you call him Scout. He gets very unhappy when you call him anything else.
Hi, Scout.
And he waves, just like but like jerky,
Yeah. Well, good to meet you. Seem awful nice and helpful.
I spend all of my time trying to teach yous the basics of our world. So building a tent out in the woods is kind of a break for me, if we're being honest. A little bit of a vacation. Kids these days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if kind of looking at this as like a vacation might be a little bit of a helper to help deal with this. We're gonna have to soldier on together.
Isn't that right, little buddy? Yes, that's right.
Well, I'm plumb tuckered out, so I'm gonna head in.
What's a plum? What's a tucker?
And she kind of like tucks it. Yeah, she kind of like goes into the tent, tucks into the night. Do you guys do anything else, or talk about anything else? Or?
I assume, like, after the day of work, we're sort of, we haven't, I don't think anyone quite knows how long we're going to be here. And I think, at least for me, like, I think, like we're just trying to get a night of sleep and see what the morning brings.
Yes. I will say, it's for as night goes. I will tell you that you definitely, the two of you definitely are able to now look up and see stars. It's a full night of stars. You can see all the constellations. It's you can tell that where on the it's a lot. It makes sense. The stars make sense for the part of the world.
Aldebaran is in retrograde.
And you can kind of tell that you're a little bit if in the subtropical part of the land. You are more in the like northern part of the planet.
I've seen the Southern Cross for the first time. Yes, we are up north.
But like subtropical part.
See there's the owl bear.
Yeah. You see like the circles.
The Capopleibus.
You see the various constellations, the owl bear, the dragon, the
Tarrasque in the sky.
Yes.
The Displacer beast.
The dire wolf.
Yes.
All of them. Well, you're
the Lamia.
Well, that like at least you'd be the one. I would say you'd be the one to at least bring up the question, and of are you on the same planet? And you can tell. Okay, I'm on the same planet. Like, at the very least, if I could figure out some of the stuff, you could figure out where you are.
I think we come from a world where interplanar travel is a thing that we know about.
At least
as level 5 people. Okay.
At least he knows about academically. As a possibility. Colloquially.
Okay.
Like them other worlds.
Well, we've heard it's maybe possible.
Yes.
Watch out! Don't to take your boat into that fog. You might end up places you don't want to be.
Yes. Yeah, and you do, and like as you wander around, you're kind of mostly seeing this top corner, and then you know that there's going to be opportunities to explore. You're going to have to venture a little bit more. Yeah, you do have.
Might have to pack this circus up and move.
You do have a bit of a nice evening, a nice night. And luckily nothing eventful happens. You just have a comforting evening.
Oh, no attack by giant crabs in the middle of the night.
At least not yet.
Enemy crabs.
You don't have the crabs.
Hit him with the shampoo.
Yeah. So
wait until I start working on ginger.
yes. You guys kind of like huddle up and sleep to the night. It's the next morning. I'll say, let me roll for weather. Okay, and like wake up to a nice, beautiful morning. Let me see what that result is.
Mortal's gonna go bask. Yes, 3 to 6. And as the morning kind of you wake up, it starts to drizzle and work up to a nice rain. And you can see that it's going to be a good bit of the rainy daytime today. It's not too bad of a it's just a nice rainstorm, but the outdoor areas are a little bit lightly obscured, and so any perception checks that rely on sight are going to be done at disadvantage if you go out and do anything today.
I think the professor seeing rain and seeing our struggle with water is immediately trying to assemble some sort of rain collection contraption. I'm imagining some sort of way of funneling water with leaves into our, we had, I guess, an iron pot.
Yeah, a gallon of iron pot. So I would say that's fairly easy for him to do, as long as he kind of sets that up and it kind of overflows as you guys drank quite a bit of water. Well, not overflows, because eventually, because you guys drank quite a bit of water, a gallon.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Several people.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what trying to just make sure, because water, not drinking is the first thing that'll kill you. So
yeah.
I've made some sort of a rain catch. It's again oddly neat for something made on an island in a survival situation.
Yes. Yeah, and that's fairly easy, and it's fairly safe. It's safe to drink. And you're able to kind of like fill your canteens, your like water skins that you made. I think everybody has like basically water skins and things like that on them.
Yeah.
The captain's dromedary.
Yeah. So.
Oh God. There's a cat. That's gonna scary me.
What would you guys like to do? Do you guys want to explore the island? See.
Yep. I think that sounds like a great idea.
I'm thinking, given the obviously if it's raining, it's not going to be as hot. I think, like, as a group, we should see how far inland we can reasonably go and see what we come across. I think headed towards maybe the mountains.
Yes. And then one of the things that the professor, again, keen mind, which way is north for sure. Like, you know that the shore is basically facing true north. And you can, like, reorient yourself at any point to help the group find your way back based on, things like that.
I think the professor's also, like, blazing trees where you hack some of the bark out in the direction you want to be able to follow it back. I got a little axe. Nothing, just, again, like, the guy, like, he's kind of like a science-y biology. He's got a lot of that in him, so he's spent some time outdoors, and, like, I don't want to go, he's not, like, full survivalist, but he knows some of the, because he's very learned. He has read many of these books about things and knows, like, leave a trail for yourself to follow. So he's blazing trees so we can find our way back to camp if we decide to come back to camp.
Blazing trees, bro.
God, I thought I got rid of the fucking high druid in the other campaign.
Yeah, and you guys kind of like you guys explore to probably can just explore together. Which direction are you guys heading? So we got let me.
I think we're.
you guys,
To me, I think we're going kind of towards the mountains, like through the. Because we kind of know what the beach is like. I think we want to see what's inland.
Yeah, so island travel, each hex is about, just as a point of reference, each hex is about a mile across.
Oh hell, that's easy.
So, exploring, each hex, you can go at a fast pace, so you can go, hex an hour at a normal pace through the hill, jungle, mountain, and swamping.
We're booking about a mile an hour,
and
guys.
Two hexes per hour on the coast and grassland regions. So I'm not sure which are grassland. I think I was trying to figure out where the grassland is, but yeah. So you kind of like have a good some length of forest ahead of you. So
Yay! I'm gonna use my scimitar like a machete.
And I think the professor, like I said, hand axing, but also sort of all the while sort of looking for sort of essentials. Like, do we see any, fruits or vegetables that are edible? Do we see any wildlife on our walk? Like, sort of assessing the area around him for the things that we need that we don't have, like, food and water and stuff.
Okay. So, let me check your stuff.
I got a lot of natures, so
you got what
and I'm always happy to roll. Let the dice decide.
Okay, so that's that could be you can do the gathering food thing, which is the hunting gathering for your activity while you're exploring. So and then that'll be, I'll say that we can do as let's see, what was I'll like parlay it together. Yeah, so as you explore, I'll have you guys explore, and at the end of the day, I'll have you do the 4 checks to see what you're able to forage and what you're able to find as you kind of like are all together. And I'll say that you're all, anybody, I mean, we could say for flavor, Susie probably be the one that would help you. But all those checks, all the checks except for I think the attack roll. No, all the checks would be with advantage, so we'll just remember to do that at the end of it. But as you explore, so you said you're going straight to the mountain range. So want to go? Let's go hex by hex. Which, and I think
straight down.
Yeah, I think we're going more or less, as direct a route as we can reasonably take.
Yes.
So if we're going hex by hex, I would say this one.
Yes.
And then this one, and then this one.
So 3 times a day.
Like if that's how we're traveling.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Random encounter.
Yeah. Okay, each morning. So for your okay, and then which way did you say you want to go? I think Professor, you could also, I want to actually give ownership. Oh yeah, you can do it. But you wanted to go to this one right here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so let me see if there is going to be a random encounter. Let's see.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
So no, nothing pops out at you. You see regular wildlife, random birds just kind of flying around. A little bit, maybe a few ant bites every once in a while.
No predators.
If unplug my own headphones. Check test it. All right. So as you kind of like you it's not easy to tell, but you can figure you're getting into midday. Explore for the afternoon. Which direction are y'all?
I think we're going to
south.
continuing south, trying to get to like the base of the mountains to see what we find.
Yeah.
And sort of see if there's any advantageous supplies, any signs of, other people or I guess intelligent beings.
Yeah, so far you're not
delicious
running
goats.
Or delicious goats.
So I will say at the moment you don't find anything in particular in that hex. But let's see. I'm gonna say it's like 2, 3, 4, 5 miles. Not here. Which way do you guys want to go past this? 'Cause here you kind of just see mountain ranges.
When Hex hits 2D art.
Are you gonna go kind of more towards the east shore?
I think I'm thinking like maybe to the west a little bit. We got sort of these
the lower hills.
Yeah, these lower hills. Just again, like looking to see what we can see, and sort of. I think I'm guessing like I kind of like part of me is wondering if I can see what's going on with the sort of cove area that's on our left. That we can sort of. I guess my guess is like we can't see precisely what's over there, but we kind of see that the trees thin out.
You start to, if you want to. Okay, so it's like 1, 2, 3. If you want to go, you can kind of start to sense that you're coming across a shore, like you're about to get to a clearing. If you want to go all the way to the shore.
Let's go to the shore. Let's see what's happening next to the water. See if it's different. See, I'm thinking the professors again, like always looking for like, is there fish we can get? Is there, is there supplies?
Yeah. So
how far is each hex?
1 mile across. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You would see. I mean, you don't. I would say it's hard to really make out there being an actual structure there, as opposed to like on this map, obviously. But do
we see the fog bank?
You do see like this like storm and fog, like it seems to just kind of live there, and there's this like fog and storm cloud. You see lightning.
Well, that's not meteorologically accurate.
Yeah, and you just it's odd. It just kind of like is let me get the should have a description on this thing. Let me see. Okay. 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 Yeah, it's hard to really say. It's just a very very like thick cloud cover, lightning, very thick cloud cover, very thick fog, obscuring an area, almost very oddly just sitting in an area, just kind of swirling around a specific spot. It's a yep. You're not sure what it might be, but it very much looks extremely dangerous to like say ever try to like sail a boat out there. And I would say the sailors among the crew would definitely be able to tell you that. It's just that it is.
That don't look right.
That don't look right.
That looks like where you don't want to be.
Okay, so that was 4 hexes of movement, I believe. It should be 4 more hours. So like 4. So that would be another
Union break.
Roll. Oh yeah, no encounters. So just to be transparent, an encounter would occur at 16 through 20, and then that would be in percentage time.
Unlikely, but
all right. So, but I will say that's the big thing you see, and you kind of like if you I would say if because and that's just I don't even need to have you roll any kind of perception checks or anything like that for that, because that's just big, obvious, and ominous out in the ocean. But if somebody wants to give me I'll have one person give me a perception check with disadvantage because it is raining.
Hey, wise guy.
Let me,
Okay, so wait, how do I? It's right click in D&D Beyond, right?
Yeah.
Because I was just like just pulling up D&D Beyond to do that. Wait, right click?
that's a strong 6.
There.
Okay, so I guess dimly.
Roll. I got 13 with my disadvantage.
Okay, I would say,
I ain't gonna try.
I would say, let me see what is the professor's passive?
Passive perception's 12, so plus 2. And my roll was a plus 2. The disadvantage.
I would say the rain is, and you're fixated on the big, scary, nonsensical thing that just stands out of place, and it just like you can't quite make out of it, make heads or tails of it, and it's distracting you from looking around at anything else. Drillidun sees big scary things, like, okay, big scary thing, big scary cloud thing. But looking around, you do notice that there seems to be signs of a settlement, of some kind of settlement around over here, over to the west. It's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 miles
But you said when we're walking on the shore, we get 2 miles an hour instead of 1.
Yeah, you'd be able to get 2 miles an hour. You have a little bit of an easier time walking along the shore. Yeah. But yeah, that's what Drillidun notices. If he wants to say anything.
I would communicate what I'm seeing, at least to Cronus on the sly, to make sure that he's apprised
Speak
of
up.
it.
What do you say? What? Huh? So now everybody hears.
So I guess
And you're like, oh, there might be people there. Oh, we're safe. We're finally saved.
People.
Am I?
Possible.
I live on a boat for a reason.
Well, we can always, I think we can, if there's some, worst comes to worst, we can defend ourselves.
No, yeah. I mean, I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Yeah. You're.
I think I like sort of say to the group, like, our best chance at survival is to find civilization or a way back to it. So
give me a boat or a guy with a boat, and I can get us wherever we need to be.
Sometimes people have
it's
boats.
Literally a skill of mine.
Sometimes people have boats. Maybe we should see if one of these people have a boat.
Yeah.
They do appear to be living on a tropical island, so someone better have a boat.
Yeah, steal somebody's Corvette or their yacht or
Corvette.
their dinghy. I don't care. Give me a rowboat. We can find our way somewhere.
Get yourself a Donzi.
My hovercraft is full of eels.
Okay. All right. So you start to make your way.
Downtown.
Slow motion running on the beach.
So yeah. So another hour. Not going into the water, but
Some goblins stand in the darkness.
I would say this is coastline as well, just with like trees and like
coastlines. We know how those work.
Unlike magnets.
So
I mean, I do know that they do not put trees right next to the beach.
Yeah, half a mile from the beach, though.
Yes. Nature takes care of that.
Yes. I would say at that moment you hear you hear something cry out a little bit from the distance, a little bit into the woods. You hear like a small squeaky voice, like help, help, she's gonna eat me. Cries a small squeaky voice from beyond the trees ahead of you.
Oh, that sounds like a youth in trouble. We must save them.
Yeah. You guys go towards the. Well, yeah. Seems like something we can at least help out a bit with. Like, so do you guys go towards the sound?
Yes, I suppose we do.
Yeah.
But I
think the professor is going in, just a little too gung ho for his own good, because he really, really like has that protective thing, like where he's like, somebody's in trouble, I must help.
Yes.
And somebody has said they're going to get eaten, so I'm scimitar in hand.
Yes. So
I still have my axe.
Yeah, my axe. Also, make sure double check if your equipment is equipped. I may have forgotten to do that. Okay, because I may have forgotten to do all that stuff when I was creating these characters.
Both my daggers are equipped. You know me as a rogue, apparently, because I like my dual daggers. I like my ambidextrous.
I created these. I'm just gonna say I created these characters at 2:00 in the morning. just like coming up with the names and like classes and like the captain was originally a ranger. I don't know why. Still an orc, but a ranger.
The range. Aquaman.
All right, so as you go into the forest, you come across, you see an enormous lizard-like thing, easily 20 feet tall, snaps its massive fang-filled jaws at a small hole cut in the side of a rocky cliff. From within the hole, the small voice cries again, "Please, help! She's gone mad, I tell you. Gone mad, I tell you. I tells you."
Is that lizard? Is that lizard covered in feathers?
I don't know if they do it and how they do it and how to do a T-Rex in the.
Okay, that's what I was trying to. Is this a lizard or is it a
Is this
relative to a
bipedal
bird?
or
Yeah.
It's a bipedal dinosaur with fairly short
Okay.
arms, about 20 foot tall.
Do any of us know what the hell a dinosaur is?
Like I want does the professor nature is his thing, biology is his thing. Does he
Yes.
recognize?
Yes, you recognize it as a T-Rex. You recognize a T-Rex in this world, in the world. You know, a T-Rex is a thing that is not an extinct dinosaur thing, but it's a creature that is not in most places, but
it's like we've run across a rare animal, but we know it's an animal that exists.
Yeah, it's not an animal. We're not running across an extinct creature.
You've heard reliable sources that they're all available in like very, very uncivilized like islands and places, things like that. And you see, and she's like, and you could, as far as you can tell, she's like trying to snap its jaw. It's trying to snap its jaws into the hole of the cave. Is there anything that you guys do?
Damn, I've never seen one of these in real life. Didn't know they were so big and so mean. But I also think the professor's like thinking about like trying to come up with some clever scheme to save whatever's in that hole. He does not yet know, but it's sort of protective instinct, and I think maybe he is thinking about sending Scout in to try to figure out what's going on, like try to
How big is
scout, for lack of a better thing,
in a height.
Yeah, and I'm thinking again, Scout's like a chimp, and we're in like sort of tree land. It's like can Scout like sort of monkey through the trees to kind of assess the situation because he speaks my language, and I'm like, Scout, go see what's happening.
He climbs up a tree nearby, and he seems to have trouble getting a good read on things. You can tell, like it's because it's like the hole is very like in there, and the T-Rex is like his whole face is just like covering everything.
I mean, I look at the professor and be like, well, you made us come here, and okay, wait.
I've got no ranged weapons. Who's got ranged weapons?
How far are we from this thing?
Close enough to hit it.
I'm trying.
I know you're about
30. You're about 30 feet.
You could throw anything at it and hit it. You're the rogue.
Well, the thing is the sneak attack.
Yeah, stab that lizard right in its lizard
It's
butt.
very engaged into what it's doing. I will say that.
So 30 feet. So, look, if you're going to make us come here, we're getting the job done. I'm going to dash and fucking dagger this thing and try to hit the sneak attack on it.
Let me see. Okay, so
awesome.
Go ahead and
I'm a little afraid of what
you get a bonus because you're small, right?
Yeah, you get the Fury of the Small or something like that. Go ahead and hit your first attack. Do your first attack.
Roll normal with my dagger.
Stab. That,
Yeah,
yeah.
you definitely hit.
Wait, did that
And that
automatically
lizard
roll
butt.
my sneak attack? Or do I have to...
No, you might have to roll
Should
your
be-
sneak attack.
Okay. Then... Is that how I roll? Whoa!
That's a roll.
Okay, good.
Okay.
It's not 136. You stab it. You stab the T-Rex like in the back of the thigh, and it's like it reacts and goes, "Ow! What the hell?" In common, it starts to back away from the hole.
Wait, what? Did that T-Rex
Like,
just speak?
Whoa,
I look at the thing that I just stabbed confused, like, wait, hold on, do I have to apologize to you? What?
Whoa!
Like,
Oh, ow! Whoa! Hey, let's not get crazy now.
I'm still daggers up. Side note.
Whoa,
Dive to a T-Rex.
ooh, it's not what you think. I'm trying to do, and then in that moment, out of that hole, you see a bat kind of like fly out, like out of the hole and off and fly off into the distance, like and as he flies away, the bat flies away. It says, "Thank you," and flies off in the distance.
And for
Fern belly.
context, talking animals are not expected.
No, no.
Like this is this
Give
is
me
like
an Arcana check.
okay. Let's
Fucking
Oh,
weird.
I got all the
Lizards.
arcanas. So
Yeah.
let's
I don't expect my angry lizards to like.
I mean, it ain't great. It's 11.
I mean,
than
I didn't
it's
realize this was a King Gizzard
it's fairly easy
moment
to
for
figure
the
out.
lizard.
The only time you maybe remember, and it's a little hard to like have it like come into the front of your mind, but you like the closest thing maybe to like somebody casts like it's not your usual like skill set, but if somebody casts like an awaken spell, like might have something like this, but like that's the closest thing like that could happen that to maybe teach somebody a language and have them be intelligent to be able to like talk, and it's like this like T-Rex like, oh man. Why did you let him escape? He's a criminal and a traitor.
I don't have a good answer for that one. Are you some sort of law enforcement Tyrannosaurus Rex?
Well, I'm just. I was.
Looked
trying
like you were trying to kill him, man.
No, I did not wish to kill him. He recently was working with that dastardly Captain Pebble Legs and his crew. But I was gonna capture him in my jaws and bring him back to the Enclave to stand trial. It's like I can, just kind of like hold him closed. But
That's a terrible. You can do terrible things to the inside of a T-Rex's mouth if you're just in there.
oh, that's true. I mean, I had a pretty tough little mouth on me, so
There's a bit of poop in there.
yeah. Well, it's not the first time I've had poop in there.
Bat poop right up in your grill. I don't know. I just saw a T-Rex over here. Somebody claiming they're getting eaten, and now I'm talking to a T-Rex.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I realize that you
It's a
didn't
bad look on your part. Let's be fair.
Yeah.
Like, you could be making all of this up, and it would make way less sense than, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if anybody wants to like do an insight check,
I don't know no better.
I think I think I'm trying to figure out like what's going on here. So let's see what the dice say.
We're talking to a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Everybody talk to the dinosaur.
Well, that didn't
a bunch
suck.
of dice. Yeah, you guys like your
The bullshit detecting crew.
Yeah. This dinosaur seemed like he's on the up and up.
Yeah, you seem
I was gonna
The
say,
committee adjourns.
RNGesus decided to be nice to us on the T-Rex that seemed like he was trying to do the right
Yeah.
thing. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, to Drillidun, you can, and especially you're a little bit, you know how to read like humanoid creatures a little bit better, but and the expressions are different, but you can tell that the T-Rex is being very genuine and very like just straightforward. Like this T-Rex is being very straightforward and very plain. It's just that they are very like plain spoken, but there's no like deception, and you can kind of tell from their a little bit of like their how they carry themselves that they probably aren't one that could be too deceptive. They're just pretty straightforward and honest about what they mean. Like okay, well, yeah, I'm sorry. I realize that you probably didn't mean to interrupt. And oh yeah, and also Susie Lee will turn to you like, yeah, well, I reckon this fella is pretty honest about what this T-Rex is pretty honest about what they're talking about. Like, oh yeah, I'm a lady T-Rex. It's just a female. She, her.
And I think the professor's like sort of walks up and sort of sticks out a hand like for a handshake and like, pleased to meet you. I'm Professor Troy Dimley. Like very formal, like introducing himself at like some sort of academic conference.
She's like kind of like she crouches down and like as best as she can to kind of like compensate not just for difference, but for like the shorter arms.
Yep.
Like handshake. Well, yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to. You didn't mean to interrupt. After all, I get it. I am a Tyrannosaurus Rex, albeit a talking one. I forget about that sometimes. Very, very strange, right? Well, anyway, nice to meet you. I'm Esmeralda. And who might you all be?
Professor Troy Dimley, PhD.
Ah. What?
And just, I know this seems like a pretty strange question to ask, but where are we?
Well, we're on the island.
We're on an island, guys.
Yeah. It's kind of all I've known, so I don't really have. I know that well, we're on an island. We're a little bit out of. I know that a lot of people come from elsewhere. Not everyone. A lot of people. And then
There are both people from here and people not from here. Confirmed.
And a lot of people having to make society here, since obviously, I don't know if you've been able to figure out, but there is no escape from the island, so it's people trying to make their best way to live here. You guys seem to be adjusting to being stuck here forever rather well.
We're still looking for a way out. And you say never getting out, like you're content with that.
Well, I mean, I live here, but from what we found out from, look, I'm sure you have a lot of questions. Especially since you probably, I guess it seems like you just learned that you're stuck here for a long time. But don't worry. Major Mitchell will explain everything. I promise.
Major Mitchell, is he some sort of leadership?
Yeah, he's the leader of our enclave. Come, follow me back to my home. It's a little bit roundabout. I had to go here, but it'll take us a little bit. But we can get there. We can get there not too long from here. You don't mind walking a bit? Hey, come. And she kind of like leads you on to follow her. Do you guys follow her?
I suppose.
I don't think we have another option.
Yeah.
Right.
And of course, everybody like introduces, like Susie introduces herself. Rosemary is like, oh, wonderful to meet you, Miss Esmeralda. You look like a very lovely T-Rex. I imagine. And all right, let me clock it from here. You guys heard it. It's here. 1, 2. Yeah, as you guys, it takes you a few hours to get there, to go through the forest and kind of this mountain clearing. Like, yeah, it's a bit of ways away, but it's a good place to stay as you follow through, and you kind of like follow through the mountain ranges. Let's say, just in case, roll for another encounter for the nighttime. The forest. I think the game did that sound effect.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's do some percentage die. And find out. Fuck around and find out. There was a number 15, and we're in. I'm gonna say what's this? Like, not in the mountains. We're in the forest underneath the mountains.
You know where you are? You in the hills in front of the mountain. You're gonna die.
We're in the mountains. So, we're like near the mountains enough. Get you kind of come into like this mountainside area as you kind of like going through to following the T-Rex. And I would say one of the things that like the peculiar thing is that she'll be leading you, and then she'll get a bit ahead of you because she's big T-Rex, and she talks a lot about the island. She'll tell you a lot about like from what she's heard from people on from the people and from the pirates, the pirate crew that they kind of have issues with, and the people that they've traded with is that people repeatedly try taking boats, and there just is a part where they just stop and they can't go further, and they just have to turn around. There's rumors of like some kind of like very dangerous whirlpool that may be a solution, but nobody knows of anything like that. But yeah, there's just a bunch of she just kind of like talks about the island. Oh, this is my favorite tree. Oh, this was a really great thing, and she'll talk about the various animals and presumably the professor's talking back to her about like all the different animals. I'm gonna guess like oh yeah, I've seen those, and you know the name of them. It's like, oh yeah, that's that thing, and it's like, oh, that's neat. Well, I know it's like the blue one, and she kind of like is a bit of a motor mouth, and you notice that she walks as nearly as fast as she talks, and she tends to get a little bit ahead of you guys because you're a little bit slower than she is, and she'll end up like having to stop. It's like, oops, sorry, I forget that I'm fast sometimes, and she'll like have to like stop and wait for you guys, and kind of like that classic thing of like the one person that walks way faster than the rest of the group and has to stop and turn around. She's very apologetic about. Yeah, you end up. Let's go with this one little bonsai clearing. I'll put like a little map for it just in case. Why? Okay. I know what I need to do. If I do that every time. There you go. Alright. Alright. No. Into the wild. Okay. I'll use this. Okay. Oh.
Gazoon.
Alright.
I
The #1 beer of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh.
Height beer.
Okay.
It's wet.
This source. This is there.
'Cause I'm blue, bob, da, boo, dee, da, boo, da.
Alright. And then you encounter a pair of giant bats. Whoa. This is definitely not gonna be nice. Oh, we're in trouble.
You're a T-Rex and they're bats. What are they hostile?
And then you see the bats like bare teeth, like and start to attack. So yeah, go ahead, everybody, roll initiative. I did the thing for you.
How do you get it to roll based on your thing in the thingy?
So
It's
click
a
the word.
plug-in.
For initiative, click the word in Forge.
yeah, and also if you on the right, if you see the fist, like the
Mm-hmm.
fight the power fist, you should also see the encounter list.
Yes.
Merry Christmas. That's a nice little sound effect for.
And if I'm remembering, Steel Defender matches my initiative, or do I roll for him?
I'm rolling
Giant
for
bat.
him just to give him a number.
Okay. Yep.
But yeah, I'm gonna give him yours.
Well, cool. Giant bat gets to go first.
Yes.
Where's combat tracker?
It's on the top. It's on the right.
There we go. Flater Mouse Gigante.
Yes. Let me.
You say Flighter Mouse?
Yes.
I'm gonna make them. All right. So.
Oh wait, where am I in the turn order?
I like orchestral music from the late 1800s.
You should be third or fourth if you count for the professor and scout as two different.
Let's see. What's my charisma bonus? This one. Does it get me up the board?
Also,
No.
and I put these
No,
down
it
randomly. You can decide. What is your what's the term? Your marching order, or your positioning. Where would you be? You should be able to move yourself.
I mean, I'm going to be getting ready to get in there, so I would have been right alongside.
I'm going to be hanging out with Theodore Rex, too.
Yeah, and I think I'm going to send Scout ahead towards this nearest one, but I don't know if I can control Scout. So,
but where would you stand at the beginning of the battle before you?
I think I'm kind of hanging back to see what's happening, and sort of letting Scout kind of be
while you were exploring, what was the marching order for your exploration? Yeah.
I think I'd be in the back because I'd constantly be looking at things just have you ever been to a museum with a dad who just reads all of the plaques? Yeah. That's me. I am reading all of the forest plaques. So I'm lagging a little, but I'm at the end of the line.
All right. So and then I presume Scout would be fairly ahead.
Yeah.
How big are these bats?
Giant.
Oh wait, what the?
I need numbers.
They are considered large.
Okay, so bigger than I. Got it.
I would imagine.
Important.
I mean, sometimes things are called giant and they aren't very large.
I forgot that.
I mean, here again, if it's larger than me,
giant bats are
in charge.
They are. Jesus.
I get a +5 at some point. I need to know.
All right,
sure would be cool if they told me what their size was on there.
Giant bats are large. The Tyrannosaurus Rex is huge.
Yeah, but I didn't use the thing.
So 10 foot. 10 foot roughly is what a large. It takes up a 10-foot cube.
Roughly, yeah. All right.
That's its personal space.
All right, so this bat is gonna actually go at the first humanoid it sees. After once again my combat settings where I start by let's attack the halfling. I swear I'm not racist against halflings.
Sure. Other campaign hasn't proven that out. Who's taking the most damage?
If you're on the stream, you can see how many hit points that the halfling has in the other adventure.
Yeah.
Half elf.
Is it in the low singles?
It is.
Yeah. just position? All right.
Huh?
He's just gonna bite. He's gonna bite the halfling. All right. Let's see. We target and wait. I can do this from here. Normal roll. And the he rolls. What does he roll? He rolled a 12, which is a miss. So it's like, so he comes down to try to bite Susie Lee, and she just like pulls out her shield and just kind of like just deflects it with her shield, like just like off to the side. Yeah, and that's all that that bat is gonna do. The professor.
So I think the professor's like readying his crossbow, and what do we got here? 10, 20. I think move up. Sort of. Can I move myself? Does that work? I don't know.
Yeah, we got pause there.
How do I move?
You should be able to move yourself now. It was paused.
It's a click and drag.
I click, and then I drag and nothing happens. But that could be dumb. There's a distinct possibility it's my fault. Oh, there we go. There we go. So I think the professor's going to move a little bit closer and take a shot with the crossbow, because this person has gone after a member of the party. And it's kind of a defensive guy. You know, doesn't want to see no one get hurt. So, yeah, I guess I'm going to try to hit with a crossbow. Let's roll. Oh, did I just
You
crit
rolled a
that?
natural 20.
Crits,
Nice.
baby.
Yeah, you rolled all the, well, not all the damage, but a lot of the damage.
Yeah.
That crossbow's throwing so hard.
Yeah.
Critically?
You just like aim, and it just goes right into its abdomen, and it's like, I don't know how a bat sounds like.
And tender bat vittles. They'd be.
Yes, he's great. And you make some considerable, take a considerable chunk out of his health. And also you have a second attack. So
I guess I'm like, well, that kind of works. So I think I'd probably take another shot.
so
Reload.
Like, whoa, that worked out.
Yeah. So I think I reload, and let's see what happens.
Those are rolls.
That probably doesn't hit.
No.
That
13 just hits, so 7 damage.
Yeah, that just
Almost
exactly
definitely
hits.
does.
Cool.
It's big.
Noted.
It's meaty.
Yeah.
But it's not it's not done
It's not. It's a bat. It ain't especially tough. It's got hollow bones.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
It's looking.
How-
It's already
how-
looking worse for wear.
You could shit talk it, but it wouldn't hear you very well.
And
Actually,
then,
no, that's not.
And
I
then
guess,
you have your
like-
bonus action. Depending on what you can do for your bonus action,
let me look here.
you can always instruct.
I'm
Scout to do
thinking.
his-
Yeah, I think like I'm gonna send Scout in, like, get him, buddy. The Scout's just gonna,
Yeah.
you
You want him to do? What would you like Scout to do? The force empower.
empowerment. Yeah. Let's roll for
Wait.
this.
What is your character class again?
I'm an artificer. So I
Okay.
create things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
a human.
That makes
So
He's also a human, a variant called the Mark of Making. So he has some really cool stuff in that.
Scout rolled a 16.
And you can
And-
move him.
or,
You
yeah,
attacked. Oh,
20,
you're attacking the same guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I'm attacking the same guy. We're right here. And so he hits for 10.
How does?
Rending damage.
Let me see.
4.
How does Scout want to do this?
Jesus.
I think,
Okay.
like, again, he's like a chimpanzee, and I think, like, again, he's spent all of his life around humans. I think he's, kind of like Donkey Kong mashing on the drums, just hitting this thing in the head, like, like,
DK.
like, just, like, I almost wonder if he kind of fights sort of pugilist, bop, 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 kind of, and just whacks this,
aped out.
Yeah, just whacks this guy in the head. He doesn't like that he attacked a member of our party. He's a robot, but like I feel like some of the professor's personality kind of is in there, like in terms of the actions. So
so he takes his big wooden fist. It's like
balls up the wooden fist. So it's kind of like a light club.
So and it just like clubs, and you see the bats like it falls out of the sky and just like and falls on the ground. And he's clubbing him, and his head is just all caved in. Its head is all caved in. Like,
good work, Scout.
He holds up his fist, and it has like his fists have blood on the bottom of the
And I think the professor's like a little bit like kind of pleased with himself. Like, yeah, I made that. And then I guess that's it for me.
So that's Steel Defender. And now it's Drillidun's turn.
Okay, so how close are these dudes to the ground? Am I gonna be able to even do anything with a dagger?
You're
So obviously they're aware of me. Sneak attack is gonna be useless.
But
am I able to use a dagger?
I want to say right now, they're about. They would be about like. They're not like hovering above the ground. Like they're above like I'd say maybe 15 feet in that one is 15 feet in the air. The other one got close because he came down to attack. But right now it's like about 15 feet in the air.
I'm gonna have
approaching.
Because I'm targeting the one I'm thinking I'm targeting, right?
You might be. There, now you are.
Okay. Again, learning PC controls. Okay, so at this point, I would have to switch over to my short bow, wouldn't I?
I would say you had that. I would say you would have that at the ready. Kind of looking at how they're approaching. You would have like pulled that out.
Okay, fair enough. Then I'll take a shot at the alive bat and see if I can unalive him in some way.
Yes.
Wow, no. Is the answer to that?
Let me see. Cool. How did you roll? Oh, 9.
Deuce.
Yeah.
A natural
kind of like,
deuce.
You have a little bit of a struggle. You kind of get your short bow out, and you go and you aim at it, and it just kind of like it's like we're working with stationary tokens, but it's on an approach vector in the middle of like its movement, and it resolves on its thing. So it's like flying towards you, and it just kind of like veers off to one side when it sees your arrow go. You're a rogue, so I wouldn't be surprised. I don't know. You should have attacks. Wait, do you have extra attack?
I don't know how to check that. Where would that be?
It says on your character sheet.
Actions. Do you have attacks per action?
What does it say over here?
Bonus
you
action.
You only have one
Cunning,
attack.
escape,
Okay,
nimble,
action.
escape, cunning action here.
Yeah. But you can do a for your you have 2 weapons. Okay. You can take you have a giant T-Rex in front of you. So you can definitely, if you wanted to hide, and if you hide, you'll be hidden, and you'll get that sneak attack just in case. Or you can give yourself.
Okay, yeah, I'll do. what is it? There's a word.
The Donkey Kong.
Cunning action is the word, because I can take a bonus action specifically to hide.
Yeah.
So I'll hide behind the giant T-Rex while I have my bow ready to try to take pot shots.
Yes. So that'll give you sneak attack next time you attack. Go ahead and roll a stealth check.
Oh, where's my stealth? Stealthy stealth. 17.
Yes. To the best of your knowledge, you're fairly hidden, far as you can tell.
I have a +10. It's gonna be hard for me to fuck this one up. I can. It's gonna be hard.
So were these bats talking?
I mean, not. They definitely. No, you didn't hear them talking, or they don't seem. And like you can even just interacting with the T-Rex, you can like even passively tell the difference between like the sense of sapience or sentience in their demeanor. Like you can see it in the T-Rex a little bit, and you don't see it in the bat. I would say you kind of sense it a little bit. You can tell that like these are just giant bat monsters. It's like, yeah. All right, so I think that's it for Drillidun, right?
Yeah, I don't have another attack I can do. I want to stay hidden, so if I do have to attack again, I at least get the sneak on my bow, and
so you got that.
I'll stay behind. I'll try to apologize as best I can while I am hiding behind the T-Rex that I stabbed profusely in the leg.
Yeah, you kind of like you stabbed it. Like, it's okay. It didn't really hurt.
Well, I'm hiding back here. Let me go ahead and try to bandage you up a little bit. Let me.
We'll patch it up a little bit.
My bad.
All right. So, did I prepare? Oh crap! I don't think I ever prepared Rosemary's spells. Rosemary's turn. As I okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
I used to do a little, but a little wouldn't do it, so I did a little more.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay.
He did.
All right. All right. Important. All right. Kind of like give her a little bit of an actual spell book to work with. Because I forgot to prepare her spells. Luckily, I did not forget for oh crap. Okay. I did not forget for Susie Lee when it comes to her turn. All right. So she's gonna go up, and she has she kind of walks up with her lute, and let's do a little bit of a let's create atmosphere and theatrics. So she's going to cast Dissonant Whispers on the bat. Let's see the range. What's the range? Okay. Okay, over here within range can hear. Dissonant Whispers. It's. Alright, so she's going to target. And she's going to cast Dissonant Whispers. Okay. And the bat is going to save. Make a wisdom save. See how wise this bat is.
Yeah.
That's a wise ass bet.
On a successful, this is luckily, so he saves and takes half damage.
Early to bed, early to rise.
So she's like, she kind of whispers a little bit of like an odd melody with her lute, but only she seems like she's playing something, and like singing something, but you guys can hear it, but you can tell the bat, can definitely hear it, and it is causing a little bit of like a twinge, and she's able to kind of fight some of it off, but it does affect the bat. And then for her bonus action, what she's going to do is, she's gonna look and like, she's gonna see that Captain. She's gonna see Captain Cronus out at the head of the line, and she's gonna shout out, "Oh, Captain, you do say protect yourself too. Take care out there. You got this." She can plays a little bit of a melody. She gives you bardic inspiration.
Donna. I'll re-roll if I hit a 1. Is that?
You get you'll get.
Okay, here we go.
So you can have a D8. So you have bardic you have an inspiration. You get so you can take off inspiration. Whenever you want to roll something, you want to use your inspiration, you get a D8. Then you can.
What just happened to that roll? It disappeared.
I deleted it.
Oh.
It's just it does it for the when I press it. But basically, yeah. So like how you can do for others, she gives you an inspiration die, and then for the next minute you can add it to ability check, attack roll, or saving throw.
Uh-huh.
But that is it.
I just didn't remember what all the different ones I could use it on.
Yeah, ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. But yeah, that is it for her. And now it is up to the good captain.
Okay, well, the captain gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
With a scimitar. With one of his attacks, he's gonna.
I'm gonna say that dissonant whisper kind of like causes the bat to kind of come closer to the ground, so it's now within reach of you.
I would figure, like, how high were they off the ground?
It was like 15 feet off the ground, and then like it starts to like shoot, like it recovers from the psychic, and then like now it's like a little bit like under 10 feet. off the ground. And
I
you're
think
like,
my orc ass with
Yeah,
my
you
arm
could-
outstretched with a scimitar. I could
Yeah,
probably
you could-
stick that.
Yeah, you can stick that. So, you rolled. You just barely missed. So like it's like you think you can reach, and then it just kind of like it like does a maneuver out of the way, like kind of flails around a little bit out of the way. You have additional attacks.
Yes.
You have
And
a
it's
second.
just as good.
Precisely.
Oh, or do you want to add your inspiration to?
I suppose.
Yeah, just roll. Well, you don't even have to roll it. Just
There.
but because it's enough
7.
because 1 would have been enough to get you
Yeah.
to attack hit. So you can do it for the second one. So you can roll damage for that second attack. Nice.
7.
4. Okay. Yeah, you do a nice bit of like you miss and it's like and you slash at it again. And you kind of get a nice like gash out of its abdomen.
Cool. I'm done.
All right, so it's going to.
Na bat's turn.
Okay, so it's gonna
Kick my ass. Cool. I got armor on this
take a bite
character.
out of you. Yeah, it's gonna take a bite out of the captain.
Get a crunch of the captain.
Does a 16 hit you?
It does. I have an armor class of
I almost
18.
killed you. Accidentally temporarily killed you. By pressing the skull. So he tries to come down at you to take a bite, and you just kind of like whack it away with your backhand.
F off. I've got chainmail on. You can't bite me.
Yeah, it's like it just.
That's not how that worked this time, but it all added up, so it did.
Yeah.
Suck it.
Suck it.
Smack. Be gone, bat.
Oh, you didn't know?
And that's all the bat can do. So Susie Lee.
Die, Flater Mouse, die.
Susie Lee is going to. Let's see what. Right, she has her inventory. Kind of see the situation and realize the flying creature she's at. Crazy crossbow bolt. But it's like, well, no, this is more fun. And she goes ahead and just readies her hand, does her motion. I think that's how it does it. Yes, somatic and material. Gets a little drop of water from her canteen into her hand. Does this somatic motion, and she goes ahead and casts Ice Knife on the bat.
Shoot nice bullets.
Nice,
Well, he's
nice.
JFK.
And that's going to be at first level.
It's untraceable, man. That's a lot of dice.
Okay, and then the one thing she doesn't take account of is like,
Shit happens.
she throws the ice knife and then it explodes.
Oops.
And then
Who could have foreseen? Area of effect.
And it's fine.
Nah.
The effects are you can roll a dexterity saving throw.
Alright, where
You can also just roll it from the if you have your character selected from the chat. So
I rolled a 1.
So you take 8
No,
points.
I rolled a 7.
Yeah, you take 8 points of, or let me see how much. 8. You take 8 points of cold damage. It's kind of like just like these cold bits like hit you in your armor, like explode from an ice knife. Like, oh, like, oh my. Well, there. Sorry about that, partner. She's a cowboy now. Oh, sorry about that, partner, fella.
What's cooler than being cool? Me. Ouch.
So in turn, let's see. That's a. Well, she can't really. She doesn't know the spell she can cast. Bonus action. That's a spell. That worked out overall. So she's satisfied with her turn. And the T-Rex, Esmeralda. Esmeralda.
Kick her ass, Esmeralda.
She's going to go ahead. You mean bat? Stay away from these good people. She's gonna go ahead and try to bite down on the bat. She definitely does. She just like goes crunch and just like you see that like she just said like does a bite, takes a bite out of the torso of the bat and just like swirls it around and extra kills it.
I get up from behind the T-Rex as it like murders this bat and go, yeah, don't come back.
Oh, all right. And that ends with the Esmeralda just murking the bat like it ain't no thing. That ends the encounter. And you walk away. It's like, oh, well, that worked out. I'm glad everybody is safe. How's everybody doing? He's like, well, yeah, well, shucks, fella, old captain, sorry about that icy situation there. I put you in there. I just was excited to use my magics.
It happens. When you carry no ranged weapons, sometimes that happens.
Yeah. Alright, so as you finish up that encounter, you kind of like deal with the aftermath and you walk away. It takes you a few more hours. It's mostly uneventful, and we'll kind of like just for expediency's sake, we'll say you make it to the Enclave, and then once you get there, it's like the trees part to reveal an impressive collection of sandstone buildings flanking a clean water canal. Right away, you notice something odd. While this village seemingly lacks humanoids, doesn't lack life. Dozens of animals move to and fro around the buildings, roads, and grounds of the village. A pair of wolves roll a barrel into a building while an elephant lifts a lemur into a window of a nearby tower. At the edge of the water, a panther and a large constrictor snake speak to each other in common.
Oh, God.
And a pink-crested cockatoo leads a discussion in front of a class made up of mice, turtles, and monkeys. This is the Enclave. Welcome to the Enclave. And that's what we're going to call it for this adventure. To be continued at the Enclave. because it's late. I held Drew way past his bedtime. I'm sorry about that. Thank y'all for being with us for this fun little like partial side quest thing. Fun little thing. So we'll revisit this in the future sometime. When we find the right time and the right circumstance, and when we want to like do something and not miss a week, and find out what's happening in the conclave. Why can animals talk, and what why do they have a functioning society on this island?
How is Esmeralda such a badass?
Yes, I mean, yeah.
All these tactical deployment of a lemur.
Yes, all these questions and more will be answered in the future when we get back to the Awaken the Mystery Island, Drillidun's Island. So look forward to that in the future. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you for being with us at this, whether you're watching live or in video. Be sure to follow the channel at Revelli TV on YouTube and on Twitch. We have streams all week. We do like this Dungeons and Dragons every Tuesday, or as many Tuesdays as we can. We do Record Breakers, our music podcast, on Wednesdays. We do Space Trucking, where Brett, Daisy, and I we're playing Starbound, and it's a fun time. Sometimes Squiggles joins us and talks about the Dallas Fort Worth Craigslist ads and things like that, and music.
Daryl Dragons, the former organ,
Yes.
Bad paint jobs with Speedy Gonzalez on pedal steel guitars.
Yes. And then Fridays we do PD Plays Fridays, where I play narrative games and single player games. Lately I've been doing trying to getting back to it. I've been kind of getting stop and start, but I'll try to like power through and get through more Mass Effect. And then once I get through Mass Effect 1, we'll see if I pivot away or keep going and just power through the whole Legendary Edition. But be sure to check that out on schedule on the website. I'll try to post the schedule on my social medias as well, and sometimes I'll do Monday streams occasionally. Just keep an eye out for that. Yeah. Do all the calls to action. Follow, like, subscribe on the YouTube. Follow the Twitch. Like, share, do all the things. Until next time. Hasta los huevos.
Toodaloo.